I remember the morning I slipped out of my own life as sharply as if it were etched beneath my skin. The apartment was silent, bathed in that pale, bluish light that filters through thin curtains before the sun fully wakes. Dust drifted lazily in the air, weightless as ghosts. And her scent lingered in the room, vanilla blended with cedar. The perfume she used to wear when we danced barefoot across the living room floor. Now it only made something tighten inside my chest. My name is Marcus, and 6 years ago, I vanished without a word. I didn't leave out of fury, and it wasn't heartbreak alone that drove me out. It was realizing, with a clarity that hollowed me out, that the woman I loved no longer saw me with affection, only duty. And I'd been too blind, too hopeful, to notice until it was unavoidable. The clues had been stacking up for months. Late-night work sessions. Her phone flipped face down the second I stepped into a room. Her laughter dulled around me, as though my presence dimmed it. Betrayal doesn't always arrive in confessions, it shows up in the quiet spaces between people. The night before I disappeared, I came home early from a trip to Seattle. I had a bottle of her favorite wine under my arm and a box of street dumplings she adored. I thought I'd surprise her. Instead, I surprised myself. There was a denim jacket slung over the chair, far too big for her. Her blouse lay crumpled on the carpet. 2 mugs sat on the nightstand, still giving off faint steam. And under our gray comforter, 2 bodies slept side by side. I didn't look at him. I didn't need to. She shifted when I stepped closer, mumbling something in her sleep. For one heartbeat, I pictured shaking her awake, demanding explanations. But the answers were already laid out in front of me, breathing softly beside her. I set the wine on her dresser, put the box of dumplings beside it, and walked away. No shouting. No slammed doors. No note left behind. Just the echo of my own footsteps and the distant rumble of Chicago traffic drifting through the open window. I took my passport, wallet, and the keys to my old truck. Nothing else. For the next 6 years, I carved out a life far from everything and everyone who'd known me. An old cabin outside Missoula, Montana that groans when the wind hits it just right. A job fixing antique clocks in a dusty little shop, and a silence so deep it felt like another world entirely. I threw away my phone, deleted every trace of myself online, and let the rest of the planet move on without me. Over time, even my memories grew soft and blurred. I stopped remembering her face. Eventually, I stopped remembering mine. Then last Saturday night, with snow falling thick enough to erase the world beyond my porch, someone knocked on my door. 3 slow, unsure taps. No one visits me. Not without calling first. Not without warning. I opened the door, and cold air swept inside. Behind it stood the woman I once vowed a lifetime to. Lena. Her eyes widened, as though she feared I'd disappear if she blinked. She was wrapped in a heavy brown coat, snowflakes tangled in her hair like tiny stars. Marcus, she breathed. Hearing my name from her mouth felt like pressing on an old bruise. I'd imagined this moment 100 different ways, her shouting, crying, pleading. But the real moment was smaller, quieter. She looked older, worn down by the years. Silver strands glinted through her hair in the firelight behind me. I didn't speak. I simply stepped aside. Old habits die hard. She entered slowly, taking in the bare cabin. The scattered tools. The threadbare couch, stitched more times than I cared to remember. The wood stove painting the walls with warm, unsteady light. You really disappeared, she said softly. That was the point, I replied. She flinched a little, then drew a shaky breath. I looked for you. For so long. Why now? I asked. She hesitated. Because he's gone. And because, there's something I need to tell you. I waited. I had nothing left to offer her. Not comfort, not anger, not absolution. But curiosity tugged quietly at me. Say it, I told her. Her hands shook. I made the worst mistake of my life, she said. And I've lived with it every day since you left. I said nothing. The confession didn't shock me. It hardly even hurt anymore. It felt like she was talking about someone else's tragedy. I kept thinking you'd return, she whispered. Every time someone knocked, I hoped it was you. But months passed, then years. And eventually, He walked away too. She let out a bitter little laugh. He told me I wasn't worth the fallout. I tossed another log onto the fire. So you came here to say you regret it? No, she said, so quietly I almost didn't hear her. I came because I never stopped loving you. That made me meet her eyes. For a heartbeat, I saw the woman I used to fall asleep beside. But the image dissolved as quickly as it came. Love doesn't survive wounds like that. Not intact. It hardens, turns into something unmovable. She stepped closer. I know you can't forgive me. I just had to see you. You're 5 years too late, I told her. She blinked fast, tears gathering at the edges of her eyes. You sound exactly the same, she said. Still steady. Still out of reach. I learned that from you. She recoiled slightly, as if the words had hit her. Then, softer than the snow drifting past the windows, she whispered, I'm sick, Marcus. A tight, cutting pain curled in my chest. How bad? Stage 4, she murmured. The doctors think I might have a year. Maybe less. The silence that followed felt heavy enough to bow the walls. I'm not here to ask for anything, she said. Not forgiveness. Not a do-over. I just needed you to know before I'm gone. I needed to say I'm sorry while you could still hear my voice. We stood there like two shades pulled back into the same moment, held together by the fading warmth of something long dead. Snow whispered against the glass. After a while, she turned her face away. I should go, she said. And I didn't call her back. I watched from the doorway as she walked into the blizzard, her outline fading until the storm swallowed her completely. I stayed there, letting the cold bite at my skin, thinking about the life I'd walked away from, the one I'd built in its place, and how sometimes closure is something you carve out for yourself. That night, I sat by the fireplace until it was only glowing coals. I wasn't angry. I wasn't grieving. What I felt was softer, deeper. A release. In the morning, I opened the worn leather journal I keep by my bed, the last place where the old version of me still exists, and wrote a single sentence. She came seeking forgiveness, but I'd already set her free. Then I closed it, put it aside, and watched the snow outside slowly brighten into day.